Happy Monday. It's Motivation Monday here on the Be Your Own Hero Show. This is the 20th day of September. This is the 76th episode of the Be Your Own Hero Show. I'm your host, I'm Sekouwrites. Let's get into it. So, Monday, as you know, if you've been watching the show, is Motivation Monday. And where am I going this week? I think I'm going to talk a little bit about pain. I'm going to talk about a little bit about pain in relationship to motivation. So, why pain? People often ask me about pain. Scratch that. People constantly ask me about pain. Like, do your feet hurt? Do your legs hurt? Do your knees hurt? Is your body broken up? Are you tired? Are you exhausted? All these things around pain, all these questions around pain. And that began even before I started the Hero Charity Run. So for those of you just joining us, I have been running every single day since the first day of June. So that is now, as of today, 112 days in a row. But even before I started that Hero Charity Run, I was pushing myself to exercise. And I was getting these questions about pain fairly often. And I would dare say that people ask me about pain much more than anything else. Like that is the most common question, some variation of, are you in pain? And the answer is yes, of course. Yes, of course. I'm in pain. There are aches and pains, and there are discomforts, and there are excuses that are valid. Excuses are valid. You just have to push past them. So I think that is worth emphasis right there, because sometimes, at least I used to think about excuses as, I didn't think of them as, I thought because they're valid, let's do it like this, because excuses are valid, I consider them a stop sign. But they are valid, and so what? Yes, I'm tired, and so what? Yes, my legs hurt, and so what? It's about being able to push past the very valid excuses to get to the next level. And so I remember this vividly. There was a point at which, before the Hero Charity Run, where I was feeling it. I was feeling all the things, and I didn't think I could do what I was doing anymore. At the time, I was doing driveway workouts during the pandemic, jump rope mostly, and I felt like I can't do it today. And I posted about that on social media, like it ain't gonna happen today, right? But I'm gonna be back at it tomorrow. And the responses surprised me. The responses were very clearly just two groups of people. Most people came in to say, hey, it's all right. Take a rest, take a break, right? But what was odd about that is those people that came in to say, take a break, take a rest, take a load off, were not the people who had encouraged me prior to that. In other words, these people who were saying, yeah, take a break, take it easy, had never, not once, encouraged me previously. And at that point, I had been pushing myself to work out for months, for quite some time. And so I thought it was odd that the people who hadn't encouraged me were the very ones telling me to take a break. So that was the first part of the day. And then the second part of the day, the warriors showed up. I'm calling them the warriors. And what's interesting about the fact that they're warriors is that they were already in my social circle. Like, I'm not talking about new people. I'm talking about people that I've known for years. But I guess they weren't interacting with me in a warrior way because I wasn't doing something that required the response of a warrior. Ooh, that's deep. So they chimed in later, and they didn't even respond on social media. They sent me direct messages, like text messages, DMs, like, the day ain't over. What you talking about? You gonna take the rest of the day off? The day ain't over. You still got hours left in the day. And I was like, oh, wow. Look at the vast difference in response between those two groups of people. And for me, retrospectively, that was a fork in the road, because I had to decide which of those paths I was going to take. Was I going to take a break, take a rest, and reset for tomorrow, which would have been fine? Or was I going to take the warrior path and push through and decide that just because I missed my morning workout didn't mean that I had to not work out all day until the next day? And I decided, obviously, to choose the latter, to push through, to make sure that I did do something. And I posted about all of that. And so I think my secondary point is, after I've said that excuses are valid, but you have to push past them. My secondary point is the pain is the same way. Like it's valid, but you have to push past it. Well, you don't have to do anything, but you can choose to push past it. You can choose to see the pain as a warning light, not a stoplight. Make some adjustments, make some changes, slow down, try something else, but don't stop. It doesn't have to be a stop sign. And so when people ask me about pain, this happens all the time now, even more since I started the Hero Charity Run. I think in my head, my response is, I don't say this out loud, but my response is, the story is not about the pain. The story is about the practice. Like, what am I practicing? Which reminds me of a quote by Deion Sanders, the football player, ex-football player. He says, "What is your purpose for practice?" That's his question. What is your purpose for practice? Right? And in his case, his purpose for practice was to be the best ever. And so every time he showed up for football practice, he pushed himself in practice to be the best ever, so that when the game time came, he could be prime time, as he was called, and excel in the game. But the thing is, though, we often think about practice as something like that. Like, we want to get better at football, so we got to go to practice. We want to get better at playing guitar, so we get a guitar and start taking lessons, and we want to get better at that. We want to get better at studying a language. We think of practice as something we've got to choose to do. But the reality is we're practicing every single day. The things that you do repeatedly every day are the things that you're practicing by default. You're not choosing to practice those things, but as you choose to do them again and again and again, they become the things that you're practicing. So again, back to the fork in the road, retroactively, I made a choice to practice being a warrior, like practice pushing past the excuses, practice taking the hard road. And that has manifested itself most obviously in this Hero Charity Run that I'm now on 112 days of. Like the practice of pushing past the pain, the practice of pushing past excuses. And it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It's probably the hardest thing I've done. But the reward for me is building a better version of myself, a version of myself that has practiced pushing past pain, because pain, like change, is inevitable. There will always be change. There will always be pain. And if you have practiced, as I am practicing now, pushing past the pain, when the inevitable pain comes, it'll be easier to push past. At least that's what I believe. I believe it'll be easier for me to push past the inevitable pain, because I'm choosing to push past pain daily. So yeah, that's kind of my response to pain. And my invitation is to think about what you're practicing. Identify what it is that you're already practicing. Because again, we're all practicing the things that we do every day. So what are you practicing? Are you practicing worrying? Are you practicing complaining? Are you practicing comparing, criticizing? Like those things that we do every day, we get better at. Do you want to be good at complaining? Do you want to be an expert at criticizing? Do you want to be a rock star at comparing yourself unfavorably to others? Like, you have to become aware of the things that you're practicing so that you can shift what you're practicing into something better for you. So that's my word about it. I'm still figuring out how to respond when people ask me about pain. And that's why I decided to do this show, to talk about it a little bit. Because for me, it feels like it's missing the point. Yes, yes, I'm in pain. Yes, all these warriors in my circle are in pain, but we're pushing past the pain. The story is not about the pain. The story is about practice pushing past the pain. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna do a commercial break. I'm gonna come back and do a quick hero update right after this. Okay, so shout out to the people who are watching me live. Shout out to Tim. Good morning. Shout out to Nan. Shout out to Gladys. Gladys said she finally made it. And circling back to Nan, I appreciate it. Nan says she's out walking while she's listening to me, so that's very cool. It's very cool. It's all about the practice, all about pushing through. So just to finish up my introductory stuff. So the concept of this show is that HERO is an acronym. It means helping everyone reach optimism. It also means high emotion radiates overflow and whatever else you might want it to mean. But the idea is that helping others is a reciprocal action. As you help others, you help yourself. And this show is an extension of the HERO Gear brand. This is a one-for-one clothing brand where I donate a bonus item for every item that you purchase for you, a t-shirt, hoodie, sweatshirt. I donate a second brand new item to the unhoused. So not only can they have something brand new, but they can have something with a wearable affirmation that says HERO. So very excited about doing that work. If you want to help out, you can just go to my website, which is sekouwrites.com, and purchase an item there. You can also pledge to my charity run. That is also on my website. It's right there on the homepage. As I said, this is day 112. I've run over 320 miles as of last week and collected over $2,200. 100% of those proceeds are being donated to 7 different nonprofits that work with the unhoused community. Hopefully you saw Living Life in Joy on Sunday. That was just yesterday, when Rev Melissa interviewed Lisa Sutton, who is the founder of In God's Hand. That's one of the 7 nonprofits that I'm donating to. So if you missed that, go back and watch the replay. You'll get to hear her story about how she got involved and why she got involved and the amazing, amazing work that she's doing. So very excited to be a part of that community and be able to give back in some way. And so I'm excited for you to put a face on these nonprofits that I've been talking about. So Rev Melissa has already interviewed Jay White of Project Love Strong. Hopefully you saw that. And now she's also interviewed Lisa Sutton of In God's Hand. And hopefully we'll be doing some more of that. So stay tuned. Okay, so just one quick shout out. Shout out to the man on the street today. As I was jogging by, he looked up and said, "Man, I love your shirt." And his encouragement kept me going, because it wasn't day 112 was not an easy day for me. And I was considering tapering off around 2 miles, which would have been fine. But he encouraged me, and I went up to 3.1, which is a 5K. I've now done a 5K for 10 days in a row. 10 days in a row, 5Ks within my 112 days of running at least a mile a day. So excited, excited, excited. Shout out to the man on the street. All right, so tune back in at 10:30 for Sip with Rev Melissa, where I'll be producing and probably pop it in to say a couple words. And tune in for the rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday, for Be Your Own Hero. Tomorrow is Tip Tuesday, where I talk about money. So hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow. Till then, keep doing. Be a hero. Be your own hero. That's the hardest part. And remember that now, right now, is better than perfect. Later.